Welcome back. Joining us now is Shannon Wellnell of Cruise Planners, who is here to explain that with some good planning and help from a travel agent, any trip is possible no matter what health condition you have. So thanks so much for being here with us this morning, Shannon.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
No, we're glad you're here. So you recently became a certified accessible travel advocate with Special Needs Group. Can you talk a little bit about what that means?
Being a travel agent certified in accessible travel means that I have completed the training and the online courses and received the certification to gain the knowledge to help people with special needs travel, or even make travel possible at all, from a simple accommodation to something maybe that they haven't even thought that they could go.
That's great. So how does someone like you who's certified in that help somebody with special needs? What do you know, for example, that maybe an average travel agent wouldn't know?
Probably just the equipment that's out there. I don't want to say average travel agent, but another travel agent that isn't certified might not realize there's great big wheelchairs with huge wheels that could go on a beach. They might not realize you could rent a hospital bed for a cruise ship. Just things like that that aren't common knowledge, you know, further out than wheelchairs.
Okay, that's great. I didn't know that either. So how would you go about finding a travel agent that has that sort of certification?
So I have the logo showing I'm certified on my email like this, but there's a website called Special Needs at Sea, and you go on that website. On the left side of the website, you look for this logo, you click on it, put in your zip code, and it'll list all the travel agents in your area who are certified.
That's great. So let's talk then about some of the things that maybe a travel agent who's certified can help a person with. And if we could, let's start with air. So if someone has a medical condition or a disability that makes getting around a little more complicated, how can a travel agent like you who is certified help that person plan so that their air travel might go a little more smoothly?
First of all, get help. There's no reason to do it alone when there are qualified travel agents out there to help you for free. A lot of people don't know that most travel agents don't charge for our services. We get commissions from whatever vendors we book. That's how we make our money. So we're not charging you any more. So please reach out and ask for help, definitely. If you just need a little assistance around an airport, wheelchairs can be requested to and from the gates. They can be waiting for you right outside the aircraft. Travel usually involves a lot of walking between the gates. Some airports are massive between the gates. So even if you don't usually use a wheelchair, but you know you have a tight connection, request that wheelchair to be waiting for you. You can't count on those motorized carts. You can't request those. They kind of come and go willy-nilly. If there's one there, great, but they're not something that you can rely on. So if you think you might need a wheelchair, go ahead and request it. If you're not comfortable in an airport but don't maybe need a wheelchair, you can request a meet and assist service. So an airline representative will come get you from your gate and help you get to the next gate. So that way they're walking with you and making sure you're comfortable. If the airline steps are hard for you to navigate, some of the smaller airports, we have to use stairs to get on the aircraft. If that doesn't work for you, be sure to tell somebody that you need a ramp so you can walk up the ramp. It makes it a little easier. If you're completely wheelchair bound, an aisle chair can be requested. So then you're transferred from your wheelchair to the aisle chair, which will fit down the narrow aisle of the aircraft, and then you can be transferred into your aircraft seat.
Okay.
So really, no matter what the accommodation, it can be done with communication from your travel agent through the airlines. A couple tips that I have if you're traveling, air travel, if you're on Delta and an issue arises at the airport, ask for a red coat. Those are agents that are specially trained to help in those situations to try to resolve whatever may be going on. Another tip I have is that sometimes Delta comfort seating can be assigned for free to people that might need to sit closer to the aircraft door. It's just something that your travel advisor needs to ask for.
Okay.
If it's medically necessary, a lot of times they'll give you that seating complimentary.
Great.
The other air travel tip I have is to always pack your medication and your passport and anything else you might need in the next 24 to 48 hours in your carry-on. No one expects bags to be delayed, but it does happen.
Sure. Great. Those are some great tips. And so that's some tips for kind of navigating around when you're at the airport. What about right when you get to the airport? Any tips there for even getting to the gate or to the counter with your tickets, those kind of things?
Sure. I always recommend to arrive early. I know a lot of times in Montana, sometimes we'll get a little bit complacent with that, think we don't need as much time as we do, but it's still really important to arrive early because you never know what's going to happen.
Okay.
It's less stressful for you and anyone you're traveling with if you have more time than not enough. As we covered earlier, to prepare to go through airport security, remember to have your medical documentation out and ready. Get your plastic bags with your medication and liquids, as well as any electronics larger than a cell phone, out to be screened so you're prepared for security. If you're over 75, you will not be required to remove your shoes.
Oh, cool. Okay. And then what about if you have like an oxygen tank or you have respiratory issues? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so this is all facts that, so if it doesn't sound...
Yeah, sure.
The Federal Aviation Administration does not allow travelers to carry their own oxygen tanks or liquid oxygen aboard a commercial aircraft.
Okay.
Instead, most patients can use a Department of Transportation approved battery-operated portable oxygen concentrator. You should check with the oxygen tank's manufacturer to make sure it's approved for in-flight use. The important thing about that is to, if you go through with that, be sure to tell the TSA that you have that so they're aware of it. More information is better. And tell them if you can disconnect from that oxygen tank during the screening process. So liquid medications, oxygen, a service animal, any documentation like that, be sure to bring a letter from your medical provider that notes these conditions.
Okay.
The more details you can give to TSA, the better. And another thing to remember is just because you got it through TSA the last time may be easy, don't count on it the next time, because every TSA is just a little bit different. Some are stricter than others.
Yeah.
So that's something you need to watch out for.
Good point. So you've done your travel and now you've gotten to a hotel or resort. How about some tips for that?
In the U.S., we're lucky because we have the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the otherwise known as the ADA. So hotels are required to be accessible for wheelchairs. The amount of rooms is based on the total amount of rooms in the hotel. So they have to have at least one accessible room or more, depending on how big their hotel is.
Okay.
But again, just communicate any hotel-related needs to your travel advisor so that we can make sure that we get you a room that fits the needs that you have.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's all the time we have, so we're going to have to stop there. But thanks so much, Shannon, for being here today. And thank you so much for joining us. We hope you'll join us again next week. Until then, stay fit, stay well, and stay healthy for life with Healthy Living for Life. Have a great week.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.